Got a coin for a cup of tea, Governor?
Oh, God bless you, Governor.
Got a coin for a cup of tea, Governor? Got a coin for a cup of tea?
Oh, what about this then, eh? Oh, blimey, look at that. Oh.
No denying it. You've got the finest velvet plush rocker in Charleston.
No doubt, Mr. Stokey, but my wife is still going to scout me for getting it just the same.
Why? You said she's been wanting a chair like that.
Well, you don't exactly know Rebecca. What she wants and what she thinks she ought to have are two entirely different things. It'll throw some meal sacks around that.
Where'd you get it?
Made it.
Would you let me blow it once?
Keep it if you like.
Couldn't do that.
And why not? It's mine to give, and I can always whittle myself another one when I got need of it.
Well then, if you say so, sure do thank you.
My name's Willy.
Mine's Israel Boone.
Now that chair now. If you've got a bit of line, I'll lash it to the Dexo shield right without a quiver.
Sure. What's the matter? You sick or something?
Look here. Could I get in the back of your wagon? I gotta hide somewhere just for a bit, please.
Sure.
Put another one there. Lieutenant Parker of His Majesty's Royal Marines at your service, sirs. We have reason to suspect that there is a mutineer from His Majesty's ship, the Molly Shan, hiding hereabout. In accordance with Article 27 of the treaty between the British Empire and the United States of America, we request permission to search these premises.
Just see you keep your hands out of my pickle barrel.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Stokey. I just hope on my next trip to Charleston I won't have to bring this rocker back to you.
Oh, all Mrs. Boone has to do is sit in it once.
Is that your wagon, sir? I think I'd like to search it.
No, Pa, don't let him.
Well, now, son, it won't hurt anything to let him have a look.
Now, step aside, boy.
But I got everything in place and all tied up good. Please, Pa?
Well, Israel, you have done a good job. It would be a shame to have to do it all over again. Sorry, Lieutenant.
Do I understand that you're defying the stipulations of the treaty between your country and mine?
Well, now, Lieutenant, I'm not so sure your treaty necessarily covers this wagon. Israel, put these behind the seat. We've got a long way to go. Lieutenant Parker. Bye, Mr. Stokey.
My regards to Mrs. Boone, Daniel.
Hurry up, Pa. Please.
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripperest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
All right, son. Don't you think it's about time you told me what this is all about? Whoa.
Come on out. You all right? Come on. Pa, this is Willy.
Willie? Where are you figuring on heading, son?
He wants to go with us, Pa.
Now, you let him talk, Israel. He might want to go back to Charleston.
He doesn't want to go back, Pa. I know. He wants to go with us. Please, Pa.
Well, if you're going to go with us, you better climb on up so we can get started.
Thank you, Governor.
Is it rock good and easy, Becky?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, I could swear that chair was rocking when I stepped in. I figured you'd been trying it out.
Well, I wasn't. I just must have bumped into it as I crossed the floor, that's all. But I did not sit in it.
Oh, come on, Becky. Try it. Sit in it just once.
No.
All right, then I'll sit.
Daniel Boone. Now, you know we can't afford a luxury like that.
It'll be quite a spell before I take you back to Charleston.
Well, you're just going to have to get it out of my sight, then.
Cabin's the safest and driest place. It might rot out there in the lean-to.
Daniel Boone. Now, I'm a weak woman. And it just isn't fair to set a temptation like that right in front of my fire.
Becky, you are the finest temptation fighter in all of Kentucky, if not the whole world. Now, if you don't want to sit and rock in that chair, you won't. So now you just stop fretting. Willie's doing a right good job of patching the roof. That's one chore I can stop putting off.
Thanks to Willie, there are a number of chores you can stop putting off. He's already repaired the drawers in the highboy so they don't stick anymore. He's shored up the spring house, and he's built 3 new shelves. I don't think I've ever seen anybody quite so handy.
Becky, does he ever talk to you at all?
The only person he ever talks to is Israel.
Most he ever said to me was, "Thank you, Governor," and that's when we were leaving Charleston. Something sure got his tongue tied up.
Dan, do you suppose he is the mutineer those Marines were looking for?
I don't know, Becky. Maybe I'd be more honest if I were to say I don't want to know.
You came down that line like a ruddy orangutan. Oh, you'll get faster, though, when you get your growth.
When I get my growth, I'm faster than you are now.
You could be a foretop man with a bit of practice.
What's a foretop man?
Well, he mans the foretopsail. Hey.
You mean like on a ship?
That's right.
Boy, you know all about ships, don't you? What's wrong?
I can't say. Wouldn't know how to tell you. What's it like, Israel? Living in a house?
I don't know. You know it's...
I don't know. For the simple reason that I never lived in one. Must be grand, all right.
I reckon. Don't suppose I ever thought about it.
I thought a lot about it. Just now I thought, wouldn't I like to build myself a little house? Out there. Just live in it.
Why don't you? There's an old cabin you could fix up. You'd like it, I know you would.
Aye. But there's no chance for it.
How do you know? Listen, why don't you talk to my pa about it? Ask him. Why don't you?
Look here, do you think he might step out here and have a word with me?
Sure, I'll go get him.
No, don't hurry him now. He's having his tea.
Pa drinks coffee. I'll go get him.
Willie, I hear you're doing an uncommon amount of work for me.
Well, you might say it's work I know how to do. You see, Mr. Boone, I served as carpenter's mate on His Majesty's ship Molly Shawn. I'm sure you must have heard of the ship Molly Shawn, the terrible mutiny and all.
It seems I recall a Marine lieutenant in Charleston saying something about it.
Aye. Well, it's me the Marines are after. There was a mutiny on the Molly Shawn, and I was in it. When they catch me, I'll hang for sure.
How old are you, Willie?
Don't know for sure, sir.
Well, what'd you do in this mutiny? Kill somebody or...
Oh, I give you my word. I never raised my hand against a soul.
Well, in that case, what do they want to hang you for?
Because I didn't do all in my power to stop them. The law says I'm as guilty as the worst of them.
Well, could you have stopped them, Willie?
Oh, no, sir. They had knives and guns, and most of them in drink. It was horrible. They chopped up the captain and threw him overboard. And the purser, bosun, and the midshipman said they'd give me some of the same if I didn't stand my hammock out their way. Without you and Israel, I'd be properly hung and gibbeted by now. I want to stay here, Mr. Boone. But would you let me?
Willie, it's not for me to say. But it is a free country.
Aye, it is. Then you wouldn't turn me in?
No.
But if the people here should find out what I've just told you...
And the folks here in Boonesboro are not so interested in the man's past. But they're more interested in what he's going to do right here and now.
Oh, bless you, sir. There can be no doubt what I intend to do right here and now. I intend to find a solid piece of timber and lay the keel for my own little house.
Lay a keel for a house?
You're going to have to excuse me, Governor. It's going to take me a while to get the salt water out of me talk.
Dust and clean. Like that, all
I ever do around here is just dust and clean. I get sweet. Same old. Come in and misuse my place, and this is the way it looks. I think that's wrong. Well, I'll say one thing for you. You never sneak up on a man. Always hear you coming. Willie, how's that new house of yours coming?
The deckhead's secure.
Deckhead's secure, huh?
Aye. And the Boones have promised to come and have a look-see this evening. My very first visiting, you might say. I was wondering if you come too.
Well, I'll say one thing. There ain't a soul in this settlement that ain't curious as to what's going on out there. I would be proud to come and have a look-see.
In that case, I'll take a jug of your best rum.
A jug of my best rum. Jug, my best rum.
Miss Overstreet paid me for making her a porch seat and a spindle chair.
Willie, I've never known you to take a drink before.
No, sir. And very likely you never will. For you and Mr. Boone this evening, when you see my little house, you may have need for a drop. Then, too, it's good to keep in the cupboard. Now that I'm settled in, maybe folks will come and visit me once in a while.
Well, you can count on that. Seems to me, next to Daniel Boone himself, you got more friends than anyone in Boonesboro.
Oh, my, Willie, the place looks beautiful.
And mighty comfortable looking, too.
And that chair you made us, he and I are always arguing over who's going to sit in it most.
Fine workmanship, Willie.
Israel, get down from there.
Wish I had a bed like this.
I expect it might make it a bit easier to dust under.
That's not why the ship captains have them. It's so they can sleep on an even keel even when the sea runs high. Right, Willie?
Right, Israel.
Dan, I think now might be the proper time.
All right. Willie, this is not new, but at least it's serviceable. At least that's what Cincinnati says.
Well, it's got a trigger.
At any rate, it's from all of us, and, well, we just think you ought to have one.
I got just the place for it. I was going to get one as soon as I could afford it anyway.
Would you let me shoot it sometime?
Of course. Should I warm up your team up?
No, thank you, Willie.
Mrs. Overstreet?
No, thank you.
Cincinnati?
Nobody wants to be an informer. Unless, of course, they has to. Blimey, where does a sailor like you get all these victuals and rum so far from the sea, eh?
I do work for the folks in the settlement. Make something they need or mend something that's broke. I get along.
Yeah, I can see that. What more can a man want than a warm cabin and plenty to eat and drink, eh? Blimey, a real captain's berth. Ho, 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 ho. I've always wanted to sleep like a ship's master. Ho, 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 ho. Ah.
Blimey, ain't that your benefactor from Charleston?
Mr. Boone's boy, Israel.
Where have you been, Willie? I've been looking all over for you. Don't you remember? You said you'd take me fishing today.
Willie ain't got no time to do any fishing, so you might as well get on your way.
Who are you?
Now then, don't start being lofty with me, my boy. I thought I told you to clear off.
And look alive, Willie boy. I'm parched and empty.
To dose you up, Israel. You've been mopish and out of spirits for days on end. You must be coming down with something.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm not coming down with anything.
Well, it's unnatural for a boy your age to be indoors all the time. You should be outdoors playing.
When do you think Paul will be coming home?
Well, when he's out hunting with Mingo, it's hard to tell. Week, 2 maybe. Israel! I'm going to have your father return that chair to Mr. Stokey as soon as he gets back. Oh. Why don't you go over and see Willie?
Every time I go over there, that Perkin man runs me off.
Maybe you could get him to come over here. Got plenty of chores that are just waiting. You tell him that I need him.
Well, I reckon I could try.
Gooseberry jam. I haven't had gooseberry jam since I can't remember. Yeah, Willie boy. I'll give you a bit. Come on, Willie. You have a taste, baby. What's the matter? Oh, I say, don't get angry. And Molly Shawn can't afford to be angry, especially with someone who knows who he is and can get in touch with the Marines at Charleston.
Well, why don't you just do it? Turn me in, and I'm done with it.
Even an old sea dog like me knows that a wise man doesn't kill the cow, he milks it. Oh, now, Willie. Come and have a sit, baby boy. Let's talk it over and you'll find things aren't so bad as they seem. Sit down now, Willie. Let's regard this as a business proposition, shall we? You got something I want, a fair little cabin, enough to stave off my hunger and thirst. Now, that's not asking much in return for me keeping my mouth shut, is it? I promise I'll do that, provided you stick to your end of the bargain, of course.
My fair little cabin is fouled. And I'm in debt for your rum and your fancy victuals. I've a good mind just to run off again.
If you got a brain in your head, you'll stay here with me and eat what I've got to say. Listen, there ain't a port, there ain't a vessel what's not watching for you, and they'll never stop. Till the end of your days, they'll be after you. Besides, you wouldn't like to get your friend Mr. Boone into trouble. Would you?
Willie, it's me, Israel. Are you home? Ma sent me. That is, to tell you that she has some chores for you. That is, if you have a mind to work this morning. There'll be dumplings for supper, Will. Won't you come?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I can.
I'll wait for you. Out here.
No. You go on home. Tell your ma I'll be along. When I can. Mrs. Boone wants me to do some work for her.
Yes, so I heard. And she'll pay for your labor with dumplings. Ha! You can't buy much rum with dumplings, baby boy. You know, it's just as well I turned up when I did. These landlubbers beginning to take advantage of you. If you do a day's work, you ought to get a man's pay for it, not just doled out a ration of mush and turnips.
There's little money to be had here.
There's little of anything to be had here. There's blooming places like hell in the doldrums. That's why I think we ought to be clearing out.
This is my home. The only one I ever had. I worked hard on this place.
Then you can work hard on another place, can't you? In a more civilized neighborhood where there's coin to be had and something for a man of my sensibilities to do of an evening.
See you coming?
It's a good thing I wasn't a mean old hungry bear. It's me like you were thinking some mighty heavy thoughts. Anything wrong I should know about?
It's Willy, Pa. There's this new man named Perkins come to stay with him. Well, he says he's a friend, but he's not like Willy at all. All this cussing and drinking and... Well, ever since there's been no fishing and hunting, every time I go over there, he barely talks to me. What do you reckon's wrong, Pa?
Hold on, son. You say Willy has a friend who's come to live with him?
Won't you come in, Mr. Boone?
Thank you, Willy. Just leave the door open if you don't mind.
Oh, I say, that's Mr. Daniel Boone, ain't it? How do you do? I'm Mr. Perkins, Mr. George Perkins.
Mr. Perkins, it's not often a seafaring man finds his way this far back into the wilderness.
How do you know I'm a seafaring man, eh?
Just how do you know I'm not?
Oh, well, I mean, nobody goes down to the sea with the hide of a beast on their backs, do they? You know, if I'm going to be a landlubber, I must be properly outfitted like. I must dress like you, Willy and Mr. Boone. I mean, I'll tell you something. You know, Willy's very smart with the needle, Mr. Boone. Oh, Mr. Boone, come over here and have a little drink, won't you? Oh, what's wrong with me? Well, never felt like this before.
It's the drink, that's all. He'll come around in a bit. He knows I'm a Molly Shawn. He saw me hiding your wagon that day in Charleston.
And as long as you give him food and drink, he'll keep a bridle on his tongue.
That was the bargain.
Well, that's not much of a bargain, Willy. It's plain to see he's got you between finger and thumb. Look at this mess. Look what he's done to you.
There's no help for it.
Not as long as you keep him in food and drink. Just suppose you were to disappear for a spell. More than likely you'd give up and go away.
No, sir. He'd tell her you brought me here and all. I could get you in an awful lot of trouble.
Well, I'm not exactly a stranger to trouble, Willy.
You saved my life, Mr. Boone. Gave me my little house and my friends. I'd sooner hang than bring you to grief.
All right, son, now get your breath and tell me.
There's Marines, Pa. There's British Marines. After Willy. They're at the fort.
Well, now, who told you there were Marines at the fort?
Nobody told me. I saw them. Same one that tried to get in our wagon in Charleston. He's in the store asking Cincinnati about Willie.
Well, what'd Cincinnati say to him?
I didn't wait to find out.
If I know Cincinnati, they know less now than when they ask him. It's likely they'll come looking for me. Do you think you can get back to our house before they get there?
Sure, Pa.
All right, I want you to go and tell your ma that if they come looking for me, that she's to delay them as long as she can. You understand? All right, now, son, make haste.
We'd like to see Mr. Boone.
Won't you come in? Dan isn't here right now, but he'll be back most any moment. Won't you sit down and make yourselves comfortable? I've got lots of nice hot tea here.
On your feet, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Boone, we'd hoped that Mr. Boone could tell us where to find William Crawford.
I'm sorry Dan isn't here, but if you just sit down and wait.
Could you tell us where to find William Crawford?
dead. Willie is dead.
What do you mean, Willie's dead? I'm...
Gonna have another drink? Good idea, what with the shock and all.
Who are you?
A friend of the deceased. A drinking companion, you might say, Lieutenant. Look at him. He's hardly in any condition to stand. I best get him off to bed.
Hold on, Mr. Boone. I need proof. Some verification that the dead man is William Crawford.
I don't know how I could help you, Lieutenant, or why I should. What makes you doubt that's your man?
The ship's records indicate that William Crawford was a much younger man.
Oh? How young?
About 16. About that young fellow's age.
16, Lieutenant? 2 years before the mast? Don't tell me the British Navy impresses 14-year-old boys.
Well,
Sir? Sir, I found this on the body.
You can't take that.
That's his friend's only keepsake.
William Crawford. Amazing. It's engraved right on the back. And he wore it.
And when you add that to the fact that his hands give him away as a seaman, and I can testify that his accent is British, so I don't know what else you need, Lieutenant.
I suppose I could settle for that in good conscience.
Well, now, that's important. The man's got to live with his conscience, and well, I think you're a very lucky man, Lieutenant.
I'd say we've all been struck with a bit of luck, Mr. Boone.
Poor fellow, we'll see that he gets a decent burial.
Sergeant McIntosh.
Up.
Prepare to march. Here. I suppose he'd want you to have it. Sergeant.
Good luck coin. That's what Perkins called it.
Yeah, it could be, Willie. Well, sometimes I like to think you have to give your luck a little push.
Why are you standing there staring a hole through me?
Well, I didn't mean to. I'm just a mite surprised and pleased to see that old Temptation fought out against you just this once.
Temptation had nothing to do with it. The matter was taken out of my hands.
Oh?
Those Marines. One of them sat in it before I had a chance to stop him.
Well, now, what'd that have to do with it?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be right to return a used chair to Mr. Stokey, would it?
Be downright dishonest. And since we have it here in the cabin and we can't take it back, it'd be wasteful not to use it.
But it's even more wasteful to sit here all day when there's supper to be made. Especially since we have a guest.
A guest?
Mm-hmm, Willie. We're having the trout he and Israel caught this afternoon.
Got a coin for a cup of tea, Governor? Oh, God bless you, Governor. Got a coin for a cup of tea, Governor? Got a coin for a cup of tea? Oh, what about this then, eh? Oh, blimey, look at that. Oh.
No denying it. You've got the finest velvet plush rocker in Charleston.
No doubt, Mr. Stokey, but my wife is still going to scout me for getting it just the same.
Why? You said she's been wanting a chair like that.
Well, you don't exactly know Rebecca. What she wants and what she thinks she ought to have are two entirely different things. It'll throw some meal sacks around that.
Where'd you get it?
Made it.
Would you let me blow it once?
Keep it if you like.
Couldn't do that.
And why not? It's mine to give, and I can always whittle myself another one when I got need of it.
Well then, if you say so, sure do thank you.
My name's Willy.
Mine's Israel Boone.
Yeah, that chair now. If you've got a bit of line, I'll lash it to the Dexo shield right without quiver.
Sure. What's the matter? You sick or something?
Look here. Could I get in the back of your wagon? I gotta hide somewhere just for a bit, please.
Sure.
Put another one there. Lieutenant Parker of His Majesty's Royal Marines at your service, sirs. We have reason to suspect that there is a mutineer from His Majesty's ship, the Molly Sean, hiding hereabout. In accordance with Article 27 of the treaty between the British Empire and the United States of America, we request permission to search these premises.
Just see you keep your hands out of my pickle barrel.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Stokey. I just hope on my next trip to Charleston I won't have to bring this rocker back to you.
Oh, all Mrs. Boone has to do is sit in it once.
Is that your wagon, sir? I think I'd like to search it.
No, Pa, don't let him.
Well, now, son, it won't hurt anything. Let him have a look.
Now, step aside, boy.
But I got everything in place and all tied up good. Please, Pa?
Well, Israel, you have done a good job. It would be a shame to have to do it all over again. Sorry, Lieutenant.
Do I understand that you're defying the stipulations of the treaty between your country and mine?
Well, now, Lieutenant, I'm not so sure your treaty necessarily covers this wagon. It'll put these behind the seat. We've got a long way to go. Lieutenant Parker. Bye, Mr. Stokey.
My regards to Mrs. Boone, Daniel.
Hurry up, Pa. Please.
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the ripidest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
All right, son. Don't you think it's about time you told me what this is all about? Whoa.